What's up y'all? Ik heet Kevin. In this video, I'm going to be talking about November in Old English. Okay? November in Old English is known as two things. Alright? It's known as blodmånad, also blotmånad. Now, blodmånad literally means blood month, and blotmånad means sacrifice month. What does this mean? Why on earth would people back then or any time, or why people in general would call a month specifically that? Well, to go deeper into this, the context is a few things. You got to bear in mind, people in the time of the Anglo-Saxons, pretty much everyone was a rural person living in small towns and whatnot, so everyone had their own farm, more or less. Yeah, pretty much. Most people were rural. Anyway, but the main thing behind this month is that this is a time when, I guess, a lot of livestock, a lot of farm animals would be killed for, preparing for winter, having a stockpile of food, if you will. But the interesting thing about this time is that it's also a time when you would have, as the name suggests, sacrifices and sacrifice month and blood month and whatnot. Well, what does this mean? From an outsider point of view, it's like, oh, how disgusting and whatnot. Well, allow me to explain. What does this mean? Well, the idea behind an offering to a deity, okay, what it is, like the relationship between a devotee and, let's say, a deity is that of a father and a child, a teacher and a student, and so forth. That's the context of the relationship between a devotee and the deity, or ex-deity. Anyway, so it's with this devotion, to use a Sanskrit word, this bhakti, this divine love, this grand love between devotee and deity. I know this may sound a little weird at first, but just hang in there. It'll take some time for you guys to understand this stuff. So the idea behind this, behind offerings and sacrifices, if you will, the idea is that you're giving something up. You're giving something up instead of the opposite of that is taking it all for yourself. The idea is to not be greedy, to not be selfish. So the idea is to give something up and offer it to a deity. So, for example, I offer this meat of a pig or swine or whatever to X deity, hopefully for a better year next year or for good luck or what have you. And then once I offer this, then the food itself becomes, lack of a better term, sanctified, because it's no longer my food anymore. It is the deity's food. It is the deity's food or wine or whatever. That's something that you give up. And after this, after the worship, after the celebrations and whatnot, then the food itself, what you offered, it becomes sanctified, becomes, in a way, it becomes holy. So when you eat this food, it is not just any piece of meat. It is the deity's food. It is Odin's food. It is Odin's meat. It's Thor's meat. It's Thor's meat. It's pick a deity and it's their food. So when a devotee eats this kind of food, so when a devotee eats this kind of food, it's like, oh wow, this is not just any regular food. This is the god's food. This is the goddess's food, if you will. Okay, so that's something to bear in mind. This sort of thing survives today in Sanatana Dharma, known as prasada. And prasada is the food that is offered to a deity, and then after the worship and all that, then the food itself becomes holy and whatnot. So it's not just eating anything, it's eating, I don't know, pick a deity's food. It's Ganesha's food, it's Krishna's food, it's what have you, right? And and the cool thing about this is that you could, let's say in your own devotion to X deity, you can have a specific cup or a specific plate that's only meant for this. So it's not just any plate, this is the deity's plate, or the plate that is used to offer food into a deity. All right, so hopefully this makes sense, because a lot of people who don't really understand Indo-European spirituality, they look at it from outside and like, oh, how savage these people are, how ignorant and stupid they were. No, they were not stupid. Sacrificing animals was the context of the time. I mean, had this still survived, it would manifest differently. Hopefully this video sheds light on the whole point of sacrifices and whatnot, and the main reason behind them is to give devotion to the deity, is to please the deity. That's why people do offerings, and what's the incentive? Unfortunately, some people they do it because they want a boon in return. They want a wish in return. They want good crops, better crops next year, or they want something materialistic next year, or something, victory for another year. I don't know. Pick anything. So that's something to bear in mind. All right. So hopefully the idea of sacrifices makes sense. Ideally, if you're going to offer something to a deity, ideally the more sincere intent would be you want to give for the sake of giving to please that deity, not because you want something in return. And what I just said there is from the teachings of my guru named Shri Dharma Parvartika Acharya. His channel is down below, called Dharma Nation. Anyway, I just want to make this video, talking about sacrifice and whatnot, talking about blot monath, and giving the context, why is it called the way it is. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and you really like this channel, please become a patron at my Patreon page down below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.